All right, good day, everybody. This is Emar Substitute, and welcome to another edition of the Sports Inquirer Show. We're recording on April 14th, 2021. Hope all is well for you out there in the world today. On today's broadcast or show, we will recap Atlanta United's win over LD Alajuelense to advance in the CONCACAF Champions League. I have some comments on that and also some audio from head coach or manager Gabriel Heinze, as well as player Brooks Lennon. We'll transition to the technical state of Georgia athletics and preview tonight's contest for Georgia Tech volleyball in the NCAA Tournament, including our exclusive interview with the junior setter Matti McKissock. And we'll touch on some other news and notes in the world of sports and the conclusion of our broadcast with the Miscellaneous Department. But as always, if you want to follow everything that we're doing, head to the mothership, thesportsinquirer.net. That is a great way to keep track of everything that we are doing on our site. We posted our WrestleMania recap in the Verbal Submissions podcast, and that came out yesterday. So make sure you check that out if you are a supporter or fan of professional wrestling. I did a full breakdown of all 2 nights of WrestleMania, as well as the 2 nights of the NXT festivities, which is tied to WWE for those of you that are not familiar with professional wrestling. But make sure you head to the site and check that show out. And the way you can find it is if you go to our social media platforms are on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook under Sports Inquirer. That's all one word. Head to the site itself, thesportsinquirer.net. You'll be able to see it there. And then finally, if you want to get the audio of the show, you can go to our audio and also our video providers at YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and others. Just do a search for us, and you'll be able to keep track of everything that we are doing on the Sports Inquirer. As I mentioned, we'll start the show with the original free kick in the world of professional soccer, and that includes Atlanta United. The Five Stripes were able to advance to the quarterfinals of the Scotiabank CONCACAF Champions League with a 1-0 victory over Alajuelense last night on Tuesday, April 14th. They advanced with the aggregate score of 2-0. Remember, they won the first leg 1-0 in Costa Rica on Ezequiel Barco's penalty kick goal. Atlanta becomes the second team to advance to the quarterfinals in 3 years, and for 3 consecutive years to do that, and a major accomplishment, for Atlanta. Here is Gabriel Heinze, the manager of Atlanta United, on the victory, as well as the performance of Ezequiel Barco.
Estoy contento por el hecho de que hemos jugado un partido más, hemos luchado.
I'm happy because we have been playing one more game. We have been fighting too.
Lo más importante es que sigamos trabajando para seguir mejorando, que hay que mejorar muchísimo.
The most important is to keep working because we need to improve a lot of things.
Y como ya lo he dicho, creo que cada conferencia que me ha tocado acá, Ezequiel Barco me da la posibilidad de jugar en 2 posiciones.
And as I said in previous press conferences, Ezequiel give us the option to play in 2 different positions.
Después debataría con usted si lo que es jugar mejor en una posición o otra.
After we could talk what it means to play better in one position or in the other one.
Atlanta's lone goal in the contest came in stoppage time of the second half by Jurgen Damm. Marcelo Moreno passed the ball to Barco down the left side of the field, which created a 2-on-1 situation against Alajuelense's goalkeeper Vargas. Barco attempted to round Vargas, but he actually made a nice little touch pass to Damm, who tapped the ball into the goal to give Atlanta the 1-0 victory. And Damm was a halftime substitute second half substitute for Atlanta United, and Heinze addressed the halftime adjustments and inserting Damm into the contest.
Bueno, porque ellos pusieron un triángulo en los que la parte del medio con un vértice que era un jugador de contención, ¿no? Y nosotros nos quedaba muy lejos tanto Hyman y Ibarra.
Alajuelense were playing with a triangle, adding a defensive midfielder, and also Emo and Ibarra were too far.
Y lo que quise tener un jugador ya más ofensivo en ese triángulo mío.
And I wanted to add a more offensive player in this triangle.
Y por eso lo elegí a Ezequiel, donde venía ya entrenando en esa posición también.
Is why I picked Ezequiel, because he had been training also in this position.
Y después, bueno, me decidí entre él y Hyman por otras cosas de característica del partido este.
And for the other reason, because of the characteristic of this game, is why I decided to keep Emo inside.
Some statistics from the contest to highlight the things going on. Atlanta controlled the contest and possession throughout the match. They outshot Alajuelense 15-7, and 9 of those 15 shots did come in the second half, and 5 of them were on target. Now, Moreno and Barco did have 4 shots apiece in the contest, and Dam had 2 shots on goal, including the game winner, and 5 crosses. But still, 2 contests, only 2 goals. Looks like Atlanta is struggling offensively to get things going. Brooks Lennon highlighted it and his comments, and then I'll have some commentary on that.
Yeah, I mean, we've scored 2 goals in 2 games, so it's not these are first 2 games of the season, so we need a little bit more time to gel. We are creating chances, but it's tough. When you're playing, especially on the road in Costa Rica, I thought they played a very counterattacking style of play, and sat back, and it was kind of tough to break down, the team. So I think we're creating chances. We're getting corner kicks, wide free kicks. We just need to play a little bit more together. And I think, we'll be able to score more goals, but we are creating chances, which is the most important part.
Yeah, and what you have to realize on the offensive end is that they are working under a new system with Gabriel Heinze. From last year's team, where it seemed like it was really more possession based. Well, that's not the right way to say it. It seemed like it was more methodical with the approach on the offensive end. It seemed like it was a lot of back passing, a lot of holding the ball under previous manager Frank de Boer, and to a lesser degree, interim manager Stephen Glass. What you're seeing with the system now with Heinze seems like there's a lot of interchange, a lot of players moving all over the place. You have guys, like Moreno and Barco switching sides, going left to right. Just a lot of that type of stuff you see with George Bello, going from defensive end one moment and then transitioning to the offensive end. So a lot of that seems to be going on, and with that is maybe some lack of scoring opportunities. And also, you do have to accommodate for the return of Joseph Martinez, who was a substitute in the first leg in Costa Rica and started the second leg last night. And obviously, he is an all-time all-time scorer in MLS. We know how prolific he is, but he is one returning from the injured ACL and doing it under a new manager. So you incorporate him into the lineup and what he's trying to do. And then with Barco, it's just a lot going on with the team. So they're trying to figure that out. You can look at a positive end is that they have 2 consecutive clean sheets to start the season. And this is the first time that Atlanta has opened a season with back-to-back shutouts. Here is manager Gabriel Heinze on the defensive effort of the Five Stripes.
Disculpe, pero yo creo que acá es un trabajo colectivo, no es que es la defensa o el medio o los delanteros, y más cuando hablamos de algo de defensivo, ¿no? Y yo creo que es la totalidad de las líneas y del equipo que sostiene una defensa.
I'm sorry, what I think is when we talk about shutouts or not to receive goals, we cannot talk about the line of defense. We should talk about the whole group as a unit.
Y también podíamos hoy haber recibido un gol también, ¿no?
And we could also receive 1 goal during the game.
Yeah, and you have to give credit to several things with that. Obviously, Rocco has been inserted into the lineup as goalkeeper. He started last night. The 18-year-old Argentinian, who is pretty much he's going to be the starter for Atlanta United too, has substituted himself or been a good reserve off the bench for a goalkeeper. Brad Guzan, obviously from the red card he received in the first leg of the competition, was suspended for last night's contest in the second leg. And you saw Rocco do a very good job controlling the defensive end, making a few important saves and things like that. Now, what you did see though is the I don't say abuse, but you're seeing teams really attack the right side. Well, pretty much the side that Anton Walks and George Bello are occupying, and they are getting opportunities. Aluense was able to get some chances going down that side, but it is an adjustment as far as that goes. But I think Atlanta, once it gets into the second or their third of on defending, they do a pretty okay. They've been an okay job so far, but that's going to be an adjustment that the team will have to continue to make. And as I mentioned, Atlanta United is the second MLS team to reach the quarterfinals in 3 consecutive years in the current era of the Champions League for CONCACAF. And here is Brooks Lennon on the importance of playing these CONCACAF matches before the MLS season.
It's so important playing these 2 first games before even our first MLS game is so good mentally for us, physically as well, to be able to play in real meaningful games and to qualify for the next round is big time from us. So it definitely helps a lot. Whereas other MLS teams are just playing friendlies, which are not even close to as competitive as these games are. So it's definitely a competitive advantage for us, and we're happy to be in Champions League this year.
Yeah, and Atlanta's going to face either the Philadelphia Union or Saprissa in the quarterfinals the week of April 26th. The second leg of that round of 16 matchup is tonight. And Atlanta does open up their MLS season this upcoming Saturday at Orlando City. On our next show or two, we'll preview that contest as Atlanta works its way through the early portions of its season. A team that has already reached I'll say the pinnacle or the postseason portion of their year is Georgia Tech volleyball. The Yellow Jackets were selected in NCAA volleyball tournament for the 10th time in program history, and the first time since 2009. They have an at-large bid in the field of 48 teams. We were able to speak with head coach Michelle Collier about the team being in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're super excited for the opportunity. I think, again, it's been our number one goal, ever since I got the job, was to get our program back and being able to compete at the national level. Proud of my staff and, support staff, our players, administration, everybody that bought in from day one to really give us the opportunity to work at a high level, to do things at a high level, recruit the best players, give me, a great coaching staff around me to really lay the foundation for, hopefully what it is to come in the future. So just excited for this next step in our development, and looking forward to playing a great team. I think that Lipscomb is always a team that knows how to win, very well coached, and from the videos we watched, going to be a very tough match. But we're ready for it, working every day to just be our best out there and play one more game and see what happens. But our players are going to leave it all out on the court, but we know that we'll be going to be facing a pretty good team on the other side as well.
And it's also a big accomplishment not only for Michelle, but also the players. And we asked Julia Bergmann, a sophomore outside for the Yellow Jackets, about the team being in the NCAA tournament.
All the work we put into, that's just a reward we get for all the hard practices. And I think we worked a lot to get here, and we are prepared to whatever comes. And I think, that was what we wanted all time long, and we got here, and now we're here to show what we can do.
Yeah, and Georgia Tech's had a really strong season. They're ranked as high as number 8 in the nation at one point of the season. They had 10 out of their 13 wins this season were sweeps, and they have a record of 13-4 overall. But it was interesting because we were doing the previews of the matchup. We started seeing social media activity about the tournament participants about the lack of accommodations and broadcast coverage. I think the biggest thing was the lack of locker room availability, the lack of just the basics, and we saw the same exact thing happen with the NCAA women's tournament last month, and the issues with lack of practice facilities, lack of a weight room or training room for the players and the staffs to help the teams prepare. And you saw the same exact thing happen with the volleyball tournament. And furthermore, there was a lack of broadcast coverage. They said the first two rounds were not going to be available on for broadcast on television or well, it's ESPN Plus. But the point is, you were being unable to see the matches. There was an uproar. Uh, Michelle made some thoughts, had her thoughts about it. I actually retweeted them. Very rarely do I put myself in that spot as far as that goes, because granted, we follow these teams and the players, and you become very, I'll say, friendly with them, but you're not friends. You have to have some objectivity and keep your distance. But when it came to that situation, I thought it was me to retweet that was appropriate or her. And you saw and there were some improvements now. The facilities are up to date and are very, acceptable. All the rounds of the NCAA tournament are going to be broadcast on some platform. I think ESPN3 has the first few rounds. I asked Coach Collier about her pursuit of having her efforts to address the lack of accommodations with the tournament.
And revising, I think their initial of showcasing, I felt like showing the rounds and really not having any commentating, for families and people that can't be around here would definitely be a disservice to our student athletes in the sport. And so I really appreciate ESPN and NCAA trying to work around that. I know that they have a hard task at hand as well, but I think that we have all been going above and beyond the things that we need to do to continue to play, to keep teams healthy. I think there's been a lot of investment from administration to everybody. And so, the expectation is that we're going all out as well. When we're coming to putting this event together, we're making it a first class event. And I think that was a little bit of the frustration. It felt like we got cut short there on some of the decision making, and I was glad that they were able to work around that and make it, a little higher level for our players and the fans of the sport and the families. I think they're more than deserving of that. So we definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, and Georgia Tech itself, and when you get back on the court, faces the Atlantic Sun champions, Lipscomb, out of Nashville, Tennessee. I'm very familiar with Lipscomb. Went to Belmont. That's a rival of Belmont. Actually, I get along with Lipscomb people very well. I actually lived when I was in Nashville about 3 miles from the Lipscomb campus. So I know a bunch of Lipscomb folks and all that. So that's cool to see them in the NCAA tournament. But so they are the champions of the Atlantic Sun. They have a really strong program. And here is Coach Collier on the Lipscomb program.
Yeah, I think for a while they've been really good. I think that Brandon, their head coach, has done a great job with them. They do a great job of scouting. I expect a lot of challenges from their game plan on the things that we do. But always a team that they got some great volleyball players. They're really high up in stats offensively. They got 4 kids that are with 3 or more kills per set. So a very balanced offense, I think similar to our strengths, with a balanced offense here, high hitting percentage, high number of kills per set. So they're really not going to be, an easy team at all. I think that we saw them when we were testing as well, and they all look pretty physical. So I'm expecting a fun match. It should be a good volleyball match. I think that the teams will be both very fundamentally sound, good volleyball teams. There's not going to be a lot of mistakes. So I think it's going to be a battle. I think it's going to have lots of long rallies, and we really have to be disciplined with our scouting report and the things that we want to defend and execute, because I think that their offense has been operating at a very high level, and we're going to have to put some pressure on that. to give us a chance to stay in there with them. But I think always the Lipscomb that I have always known. I mean, I was an EA son, and all the years I was there, they were always one of the top teams in the conference, in the NCAA championship all the time. So they know how to win. It's a coaching staff that knows the game, and I think they're going to be really prepared for us, and so are we. So it should be a fun match.
Yeah, and we're able to catch up with Matti McKissock, the junior setter for Georgia Tech. We were able to speak with her before they traveled to Nebraska for an exclusive interview, and she addresses the team being in the tournament, her being an all ACC performer, and all things related to her team. So here is Matti McKissock on the Yellow Jackets. All right, good everybody. This is Emar Substitute. We're joined by Matti McKissock from Georgia Tech Volleyball. I'm very excited to have her today. The team has been selected for the NCAA Tournament, and just wanted to catch up with her before they head to Omaha. But Matti, first, what's it like for the program as a team to be selected to the NCAA Tournament for the first time since 2009?
Yeah, it's unreal, honestly. It feels like finally all of our hard work is paying off as a team, and we just have a great group of girls. We have a really deep team this year. Everybody is really talented on the team, and it's just been an awesome experience feeling like your hard work is paying off, and that we still have a lot more work to do, but it's a great first step in taking this program to the next level, which has been all of our goals coming in since freshman year. So it's just been super rewarding and awesome and fun, and we're super excited to see what else this team can do.
What's this year like been for the team, having to have a fall season, then take a break, and now have a spring season, and now just have this culmination, at least for now, of being selected in the NCAA Tournament?
Yeah, it's been different than anything I think any of us have ever had to deal with, but it's made us a lot stronger in the end. And it's been fun, playing this whole year. It's also been a lot harder than usual, just mentally staying focused, even when we had that break, knowing that we had to come back still strong and to try to finish off what we did in the fall season as well. So it's been mentally challenging, but also super rewarding, and made us better as a team, and I think prepared us in the long run to be able to, go through adversity and fight through things even when they're hard.
You mentioned the adversity. You went through that last year when you were very qualified on paper to be in the NCAA tournament, but were not selected. Now you're able to turn that around and win the NIVC national championship. But what did you take from last year and that disappointment in not being in the NCAA tournament and transition over into this year?
I think it motivated us all a lot as a team and made us all stronger. We knew what we had to do and what we were capable of doing last year, and so I think it made us super focused on the end goal, and made us work even harder because we did have a great year last year, but we knew that we had to do something different to make it to the tournament this year, even when there's less teams selected. So it made us grow a lot as a team and fight through all of those, mental challenges that we had not making the tournament last year, and just kind of put a chip on our shoulder, and we knew what we had to do to get the job done for this year.
Now, you individually, you were selected to the second team All ACC team. What was that like for you? And talking with Coach Collier throughout the year, you've been dealing with injuries and working your way back onto the court. First of all, how are you feeling physically, and what's that like to receive that All ACC honor?
I'm feeling great. My foot feels a lot better. I just had like a little, ankle injury, but I'm feeling a lot better, and I feel like I'm back at 100%. I'm slowly getting back into the rhythm of like game like situations, and getting more time out there on the court with my teammates has been super like a great honor for me, and I'm really thankful for Coach Michelle trusting me, being out there coming back from injury. It's meant a lot to me playing with my teammates these last few games. But the award, the AC second team, I was not expecting that at all. It's super humbling and honestly makes me emotional thinking about it because, um, this year was like very different and hard on all of us as a team, and we fought through so much. And going through an injury is never easy. Not being able to play with your teammates is hard. And just seeing Bella step into that role has been an honor, and I'm so proud of her for like the way she played and had to step into that position. So getting that award, I'm like, I just feel like it's a team award because my team has done such a good job adjusting and fighting through all the challenges we had this year and still performed great. And I'm just lucky enough to be out there again, and uh, it's just an honor for me to receive that on behalf of the team. I think it's definitely just I couldn't do it without them and without the great passing making my job so much easier coming back from an injury.
Yeah, do you see yourself in a mentor role with Bella, a freshman that had to go into that setter position? Did you see yourself trying to help her out and just keep the offense going?
Yeah, I did the best that I could, trying to talk to her and help her. But she's super talented. So she's a great setter, and I was just trying to help her with, what I saw from the sideline, and would try to talk to her, watch film with her before the game. So I did my best trying to help her, but she's great. So she did an awesome job.
And now you're prepared to go to Omaha. So, the unique setup with the NCAA tournament, you're going to be in one location, kind of similar to with the other NCAA tournaments with being quarantined and kind of in your own bubble. What do you anticipate when you get down there as far as the NCAA experience?
I'm not really sure what to expect. I wouldn't know what to expect being in the tournament without the bubble, but I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting. They're going to be probably really strict with protocols and things. So I'm just excited to play volleyball. I think that's what our team's focusing on. Let all the other stuff that we can't control, you know, let that fly, let that happen, however they want it to. But we're just excited to get out there and play some good volleyball and hopefully upset a few teams.
Do you think playing these neutral site contests throughout the regular season kind of gives you that you're used to being in that unique scenario with the ACC and playing those two games in a row? You think feel better prepared for the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I think I never really thought of it like that, but also playing back to back, I think, is going to help us too. We've been playing back to back for the whole season, for this last spring part of the season. So I think all of those things are going to be to an advantage for us. And I hope that that shows when we're out there playing.
Yeah, and I talked with Coach Collier earlier this week, and the interview's on our site. She said you were allowed to celebrate Sunday evening when the selection was made, but then Monday morning you were back on the court getting ready for the match. How do you do that as a team? How do you balance the excitement of being in the NCAA tournament, but then also knowing that you're focused and you have a competition to prepare for?
Yeah, I think we've been practicing this whole year to make it to the tournament. So we were super excited, and then we knew we had to get back out there and practice to make a statement in the tournament and show everybody what we can do and that we deserve to be in the tournament. And I think we're all super focused on that and have tried our best to prepare for this opportunity our whole careers and even this year. So we're all super focused and just ready to keep playing, and we're excited to keep playing volleyball.
Yeah, and lastly, you're facing Lipscomb in the first round, the champions from the Atlantic Sun Conference. Have you done some research on them yet? Kind of seen what their system is, and what do you anticipate at least for that matchup?
Yeah, we've been scouting them on our own for now, and we've been kind of practicing a few things in practice that we know that they're going to challenge us with. But our scouting really will start on the back end of practice this coming week, leading up to the game. We kind of want to focus on ourselves and make our side of the game the best that we can, so we're prepared to play anything that they throw at us. But we're definitely going to start scouting them more heavily this at the end of the week. But we're just focusing on us and trying to play the best volleyball that we know how we can play. So.
And we thank Maddie for joining our show and speaking with us about things going on in the Yellow Jackets world as they prepare for their match tonight against Lipscomb. Yeah, miscellaneous department, things in the world of sports. I saw the Julian Edelman retirement for the former New England Patriots wide receiver. He's not a Hall of Famer. If they want to retire his number or put him in a Ring of Honor for the Patriots, he won 3 Super Bowls there. That's a beautiful thing. He had a really good career. I think he was undrafted or drafted very late. He was a quarterback in college, transitioned to become a wide receiver, became a Super Bowl MVP. Very good career. But I don't know where this discussion of him being a Hall of Famer started. He's not even close. If a Heinze Ward can't even get any love to be a Hall of Famer, or a Steve Smith, or you go down the line to a bunch of other people that aren't even considered Hall of Famers, his numbers aren't there. The postseason numbers, yes, they're nice. I know you've seen, I think he's all-time leader in receptions, and I think he's second to Jerry Rice in yards. Only 5 touchdowns in the postseason. Danny Amendola has more than receiving touchdowns than Julian Edelman. I think the fact that he's Tom Brady's best friend, he's a white wide receiver. He played in the slot. He had the underdog story. I think all that leads to this. All the Boston media and the Skip Baylesses want to make him a Hall of Famer. No, he's not even close to that. Very good career. And as I said, if he's in the Patriots Hall of Fame or their number retirement, that's cool. That's with the Patriots. But to put him in the NFL Hall of Fame with the all-time greats, it's not even a conversation. I just don't get that, at all. We addressed this early, and I think our last show, but I'll bring it up now. We all know what's going on in Minnesota with the uh, issues with the police and the shootings and things along those lines. In the sports world, we did see the Minnesota franchises take a pause as far as the ones that were hosting games. The Twins of Major League Baseball, obviously the Wild of the NHL, and the Timberwolves of the NBA. They did not play, I think, on Monday, and then I think some of them returned yesterday and Tuesday, and trying to work through that. Yeah, I think that their statement was made, and I think that's just good enough as far as everything that's going on there. But yeah, it's a really tough situation for all involved, and you just hope people can be safe and take care of that. I'm trying to think anything else in the world of sports that I want to address. Yes, actually, it's a weird period. We went over the Masters, and if you didn't catch on the last show, I thought it was an okay Masters. I really didn't get into it. Respect to Hideki for winning the Masters. I know his first Japanese, native to win the Masters, so that's a big moment for him and then the country. But it just was a lack of, I think, 2 things. One, just there was a lack of build or a lack of tension. I know he hit the ball in the water at some point on Sunday, and it looks like he won by only 1 stroke. So you think, wow, it was a really close event. It really wasn't that close. He was in the lead comfortably throughout the contest, so I don't think that helped. I also think that there was, and he's a name player. He's been ranked in the top, I think, 10 or 20 in his career. But we didn't see Jordan Spieth, the Rory McIlroy, Brooks Koepka, Bryson DeChambeau. And if you want to go to some of the older guys, a Dustin Johnson and Phil Mickelson, even if he could have made a little bit of a run. Obviously, Tiger Woods was not at the event dealing with his injuries. The lack of star power in that back 9 on Sunday, when you're looking at the leaderboard, I think really hurt the interest in the Masters. I think unless you were a hardcore golf fan, I don't think you're really checking for the Masters too much on Sunday. But that's sometimes the way it works. You're not going to have, like it was 2 years ago in 2019, Tiger Woods making a run on Sunday with a full gallery. I mean, that's why when you have situations like that, you have to appreciate it. So that's why when you have those moments, acknowledge them, realize when you're in them, because that's not going to happen too often in the world. So yeah, so that's really everything that's going on in the sports world. I'm looking forward to seeing the Brooklyn and Philadelphia matchup today. Hope we'll see who's going to show up for Brooklyn. Yeah, it's just, and Kyrie is just so weird with him. Personal reasons, he was out yesterday or the game in Minnesota. Maybe he'll play today. Maybe he won't. The last time he was on the court, he was arguing with Dennis Schroeder and about the use of the N word on the court and all this craziness. It's just you never know with him. But this will be a good litmus test. I mean, James Harden, I don't think is going to play tonight, so it's not like a true test of when Brooklyn is at full strength. When will they ever be? It seems like either for rest or injuries, they could never get all three of those guys or get them on the court at the same time too often. So even tonight, with Durant and Kyrie Irving, if Brooklyn wins, I mean, I guess that's a good thing for them. But if they lose, like, what if James Harden was there? Who I think has shown himself to be the most valuable guy on that team. I think Durant's still the best player, but maybe Harden's turned into the most valuable guy if they're going to make a run at a championship. But that's a good regular season matchup to look at, and we'll be checking that out. And that concludes today's show. Thanks for listening to our Sports Inquirer show. As always, you can head to the mothership to sportsinquirer.net on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook to find, well, first go to sportsinquirer.net. That's our site. On social media, go to our platforms on there. And finally, subscribe to us on YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Podcast, iTunes, and wherever you get your audio and video content. Until next time, good fight, good night, be safe.